Hello and welcome to the final day of Speaker Week. I am so ecstatic and I just can't wait to interview tonight's guest because she has been so important in my own business journey. Her name is Averri Squires and she helps 6 and 7 figure business owners with their business. So I am excited. Hello and welcome to bring her on momentarily. But first, I want to just give a shout out to everyone who has participated in Speaker Week. We have literally been rocking and rolling all week long to highlight the Mogul Code Summit speakers, and they gave us a sneak peek of their topic and then also just their journey and top tips to help entrepreneurs. So I know Ari is going to deliver because she has helped me with my own business with strategic planning. And again, I mentioned earlier, she helps 6 and 7 figure business owners. So while we wait for her to come on the live and share her knowledge and the gems she's about to drop, let me take a point of privilege and share with you about the Mogul Code Summit for those who are new to Speaker Week. So the Mogul Code Summit is here for its third year. It's always been virtual and we're excited to bring it back for another year. And if you know of a deserving woman entrepreneur who should be recognized in her industry, it's not too late to nominate her for the Mogulpreneur of the Year award, and we will recognize the winner on that Friday. And I see our speaker, she has arrived, and I'll just wrap it up really quickly about the summit. So it is free and it's virtual. You can go to www.themogulcodesummit.com. So I'm going to go ahead and read our speaker of the evening's bio. And again, she has been just so integral in my journey. So I can't wait to talk to her. Ari Squires is the founder of the Revenue Room Collaborative Business and Self-Mastery Training Centers and Retreats. She is a celebrated brand manager and does not play any games when it comes to helping hungry entrepreneurs reach and surpass their profit goals. Ari is a podcast host, speaker, filmmaker, 11 times author, and Howard alumna, go HBCUs, and she serves as a brand manager for 6 and 7 figure business entrepreneurs who are seeking solutions that will enable them to scale their business. Her clients include celebrities, high dollar earners, and the most notable thought leaders around the country. She also is over the she's the CEO of the Profit Attraction Academy and Release the Chains training centers and retreats. Ari provides custom business expansion strategies for personal brands and mid-sized organizations. And another note is that she does think outside of the box and she talks about brand equity so much because it really is essential to your brand. So I'm going to go ahead her up. Please give a warm virtual welcome for Ari Squires. She is so amazing and here she is. Hi, Coach.
Bio.
No, I could have cut it off, but I wanted them to get an essence of who you are, even though it really doesn't do you justice. Because working with you personally, I know all that you. Well, not all. I don't know everything, but I know quite a bit because you're just so amazing. So, how are you?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And shout out to Black Women Moguls, honey. You are doing it. And to
Thank you. I learned from the best.
everyone.
So I want to just start off with the beginning journey of how you got started in entrepreneurship. Was this always ingrained in you, or was that something you learned along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I started out at 6 years old being an entrepreneur, selling my Barbie dolls, girl. And so it's just always been in me. I think it's in my DNA. My great great grandparents were entrepreneurs, my dad, my grandmother. So I believe it's in my DNA. I really got my real entrepreneurship journey when I opened up a dance and performing arts school in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I'm not a dancer. It was just I saw this need in my community where, the kids needed an outlet to come and be empowered and be around other little Black girls and little Black boys. And so I ran that and operated it for 10 years. And during that space, people were asking me about, how did you do this? I want help. Can you help me in my business? And that brought me to where I am today doing brand management and business coaching.
That's wonderful. And also, welcome back from South Africa. I was living vicariously through you. So tell us about that experience. I know there's a vlog coming up, so you don't have to tell us everything. We'll get a real experience from that. But tell us just like, what were your takeaways? What was that experience like?
It's like when you go to South Africa, there's no words to describe it. It's definitely not what you see on television. You get what I'm saying? Like what they portray is not what South Africa is. The people there are so welcoming, and I actually went there to speak, and that was the beauty of it. That my talents, my gifts, my brand, my purpose in life brought me all the way back home to Africa to speak to young people, college students, domestic violence survivors, entrepreneurs. It was just, I mean, it was just amazing to be there. It's like I can't even put it in words. I experienced so much, the welcoming, the children, the love, the family. It was amazing. So I would have to like wake up and like pinch myself every morning that my gift had brought me there. It was just amazing.
I can only imagine. And I have to take a short little break from the questions and tell people how we met
Yeah.
because it's an amazing story. I still can't wrap my head around it. So
Mhm.
I saw you first on an IG live, and I think it was Welcome Sarah's IG live. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so fascinated with her. I have to follow her. And then let me see then we ended up on the speaker panel together, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's sitting next to me. We're on this panel together. And then you slid in my DMs and invited me to the mastermind, and the rest is history. I won't bore them with the full details, but I really manifested wanting to work with you. And when it happened, I was like, oh my goodness, I was just so honored. So I want to use that story to transition into the next question of when did you know it was your purpose to work with organizations, and you said, and individuals who are in transition to create lives and businesses they love. So what was the, I guess, defining moment that made you realize this is what you wanted to do?
When I just was so happy doing it, when I found my complete joy. It was just this feeling of peace, this feeling of, okay, this is it, you know, and seeing the results in the women, because I was started out working with women, and their transitions and seeing their lives and their businesses change. That was when I knew that this was my purpose. I was like, this was it. It was that feeling. It's always a feeling. All
Right.
yeah.
That's true. And you taught me a lot about especially when I was creating my avatar, making sure we emphasize individuals who are building businesses that they love and building it around their life, not their life around their business, which is very essential. I think that's why a lot of entrepreneurs are unhappy because they're doing it the wrong way. So I want to ask, how do you identify those rising entrepreneurs who are hungry and want to go beyond their expectations versus those who are just the status quo or just complacent?
Yeah, well, I can tell when the entrepreneurs that are serious and that are really hungry, they're ready to do the work. You get what I'm saying? They're not believing in this, this microwave dream, like it's going to happen overnight. Like they realize that there's going to be work that they're going to have to do and action they're going to have to take and things they're going to have to execute, and they're do that. That's the difference between an entrepreneur who's going to be successful and one that just as a wannabe entrepreneur. So you can tell right away. It's a mindset thing,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're on social media, it could look like entrepreneurship is really easy
Right.
because people are not sharing the behind the scenes stuff. I do. I keep it real. I keep it as real as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're seeing the highlight reel, the successes and the results, but not seeing what's really happening. So those people who really get excited about putting the work in, those are the ones I can tell are going to excel right away. Right away. Those are the hungry ones.
And you
Absolutely.
And you make a really good point about being transparent. I put on my personal page, and I even do that here sometimes, but I put how stressed I was because I'm trying to finish the summit, work on my Black Friday lunch, and then prepare everything because like you, I model taking off like of several weeks to regroup. So I'm trying to make sure I do everything right. But we don't show that side or say that, yes, we're stressed in this moment or we we show the successes like, oh yes, I've been featured, this is wonderful, but we do need to show the full side of entrepreneurship. And on that vein, what one thing that you wish you had learned earlier? It could be about personal life or entrepreneurship.
Oh man, gosh, what do I wish I would have learned? Oh, the people was gonna get on my nerves.
Oh goodness.
So, like some people are really gonna get on your nerves, and that's just the reality. So you have to, for me, I wasn't a very patient individual. Like
Mhm.
I, had to, and let me say this, 'cause speaking about patience, because this is something that my friends were telling me that I needed to work on. This is one, because business and marketing and branding and all of that was natural for me, right? I've always been successful at it. And so when I was working with people or trying to get people to release their chains and, understand what was possible for them,
Mhm.
really frustrating for me that everybody wasn't as hungry as people like you and of course the people that are coming to the summit. And it was frustrating because I was trying to help everybody, right? I was trying to help people that didn't even want to help themselves. So I wish that I would have known ahead of time that you can't save everybody. You can't
Mhm.
body, that everybody is not going to be ready, because that was very frustrating for me. So I think I wish I would have known that, because it becomes hurtful and you feel like, am I really doing this? You feel like you're wasting your time. It's all the action, all the things that you're doing in vain, because you feel like, why aren't they moving? Why aren't
Mhm.
they doing what they're supposed to do? Why aren't they supporting? Why aren't they buying? You get what I'm saying? So I that I would have known that ahead. Hey, everybody.
Yes, I was gonna say, Coach D Talk says my cousin speaking life. So true, she always does, and that's really true. It can be discouraging when someone says they're ready to move forward, but then when it's time to pay, they're like they disappear. But that's why it's really important to just understand it's not you. It's a mindset thing, and the people who are meant for you are meant for you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you are highly accomplished, a filmmaker, author, speaker, entrepreneur, so many hats. What would you say is the secret sauce to your success?
Believing in myself. And I know that's so easy, but if people ask me this question so much, but really it's believing in myself, because when you believe in yourself, you'll take risks. You'll just kind of like put it all on the line. You'll make sacrifices, you'll do the hard work. You'll go against the grain. You'll show up, you'll do what you're supposed to do. And I think it's the believing in myself and the confidence. And I look at so many different successful entrepreneurs, and I look at, some people may think they're cocky, but I see confidence. That confidence and belief will get you a long, long, long way. So since I believe in myself, I know that has attributed to the success, because I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to
Mm-hmm.
learn. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
willing to go through that, and that takes belief. So, and going back to your other question too, you have to detach yourself from the outcome. And
Mm-hmm.
that's detaching yourself from the outcome of others, which is very hard to do when we're in the personal and business development space. It's very difficult because we want people to win, but it really helps you by detaching yourself from the outcome. I just kind of want to go back to that as well.
That's true. And I think it was Ashley Kirkwood who said, people are rejecting your offer, they're not rejecting you. So when we put it in perspective like that, it really, and you said it yourself, detach yourself from the outcome. It's really not you. It's
That,
something within their mindset, and then maybe they'll come back. So
that,
that's really important. And then you mentioned something else that I wanted to touch on about when people think, especially women, when we're perceived as cocky for showing our accomplishments or making certain moves. If it
mm,
were a man, we'd be like, oh yes, he did that, and when it comes to us, we're like, no, you must be modest and humble. This is
mm,
our time to really just show who we are, and even if we're making moves in silence, still show who we are in that space as well, because I know you are a big proponent of making moves in silence.
that honey.
Yes. So I am excited to have you as a Mogul Code speaker, and I am really honored. I
Oh,
really, really am honored. So I want you to give everyone a sneak preview about your topic. I know one of the major principles that you speak on all the time is brand equity. So tell us about that.
yeah. Well, brand equity is the way that brand is perceived in your marketplace. And the higher your brand is perceived in this marketplace, the more money you're going to make. And that's just period. You get what I'm saying? And so a lot of stores are really focused on selling products, developing products, posting on social media, doing these things that they've been told to do that's really regurgitated. Because what your marketing approach or your business model won't be mine, right? So mine has to be very intentional and very distinctive to who my audience is. And so focusing on building the value around your brand is the most important thing to do. Like, and so I'm going to be sharing some principles and some tools on how to build that brand equity, preferably offline, because I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. So this was before Instagram and before Facebook. And so a lot of the things about building relationships and proposals and networking and those types of things, setting up referral systems and things on the back end of your business offline, you actually can make way more money offline than you can selling and promoting your business online. However, I am going to teach the proper understanding of having an online presence, but building that brand equity offline so you can diversify your income. So that's what I'm going to be teaching. You know, that's my juju.
Yes, it is. And it's so true. It was before the last Instagram blackout. I kept telling people on lives, you want to make sure you diversify your marketing online and offline, because you never know when there's going to be a breakdown. And so when that day happened, I was like, oh, Instagram's down. I was going to make a post, but okay, whatever, I'll go do something else. And I might have like worked on my email list. And I tell people all the time that, believe it or not, Instagram is not my number one way to get money. Yes, it's the icing on the cake, but honestly, referrals and partnerships brings me the most money. And if I am posting extensively, it's because it's a reason and strategic. So like, yes, I've been posting every day since October 18th, which I'm so proud of. I don't know how that happened, but it's a reason behind it, especially trying to promote the summit. But there are other ways to diversify.
My brother, actor, choreographer, Darren Henson on here. Hello, brother. How you doing? Thank you for the shout out.
She really is the best. So I'm excited for you to talk about brand equity. And for those who are just joining in, we are speaking with Averri Squires, my business coach, my mentor, unofficially, who is just so integral in the lives of many entrepreneurs, and she really knows what she's talking about. And she will be speaking at the Mogul Code Summit in December. Both men and women are welcome. Yes, it's by Black women moguls, but we have men who show up and follow us too. And business strategy is business strategy, right? So we are excited to have Averri. Now, I want to make sure that I highlight one of the other important projects in your life, and that's being a filmmaker. So tell us about, and you can talk about your podcast too. So tell us about any new projects coming up in your podcast.
Yeah, so when I first started getting into the space of speaking and business coaching, because I went to dance and performing arts school, so that was my thing. Somebody asked me to come and speak. They wanted me to speak about business, and so the thing that came to me was release the chains. Like, release the chain. So I realized that as I was working with entrepreneurs, they had some mental blocks going on. They had some stories, they had some chains that were preventing them from showing up in their business, whether they had the strategy or not. And so I was like, wow, okay. So there's some stuff that we have to work on within, right? And I realized that we all had a story. We all had something that has happened in our lives that may be causing us to not show up the way that we are supposed to. For me, that was being incarcerated, getting in trouble, making bad decisions, and then overcoming that, overcoming all of that, changing my life, changing my circle, going to Howard and graduating with a degree in film production. So I realized that it wasn't just me that had a story and had to release some chains. There was other people as well. So I decided to document these stories and create films and books and really films about people's story and how they release those mental, emotional, financial, and generational chains in order to show up in their lives to create the success and the destinies that that they want to create for themselves. So I started that movement, and it's just been amazing. And so now podcasting, I love podcasts. I love podcasts. So now I have my Release the Chains podcast, which is on my Ari Squires channel, and I'm doing pretty much the same thing, but it's a lot more in depth. There's more education
Mm-hmm.
based learning. I mean, we've had, so many different people come on and share not just their stories, but tools on how to release those chains for good. So that's kind of the story, the back end behind that, the short version.
And one of the things I like best about your podcast is that, yes, you are a brand strategist, but your podcast incorporates so many topics that really do affect us as business owners. Such as you were talking about marriage, you were talking about intimacy, different things, because we aren't just business individuals, we have a personal life. And so it really is important to discuss the holistic side of our lives. So that's what I really like about your podcast. It's not just focused on one thing, and it does really educate
Yeah.
everyone. So with my final questions, I first want to ask, what is next for you? I know you always have something up your sleeve. You might not be able to share every single thing, but can you just give us a sneak peek of what's next?
Yes, but I won't be sharing it because I do believe in making moves in silence, but I
Mhm.
also sharing your journey as well. That's why my No More Chains movement was so successful, because I was taking people along the way. And again, that goes back to building that brand equity, right? Which I'll share with you guys on the summit, because there's a strategy in that as well. But it's like I plan ahead. So I
Mhm.
2024 plan. I know, how much money I'm going to be making in
Mhm.
2024. I know where I'm going to be in 2027 because I plan ahead. So
Mhm.
that I do today is intentional to get me to the numbers that I want to create, the people that I want to impact, and the things that I want to do in my business. So some of that stuff I don't share because
Mhm.
it's in my plan, and you know what I'm saying? But what I am finally starting to do after going to South Africa and getting into the economic portion of that and the
Mhm.
e-commerce, but the commerce of doing international business, I'm going to start doing some international business now, and like kind of like making the Averri Squires International a global brand, which is what I had planned. But now it's after going there, Avery, it's going to be happening a lot faster than I thought.
That's amazing. And I did see the receipts on that, like the connections that you made. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for her. And that answered the question. I knew you couldn't share like the
Right.
nitty gritty, but I knew you had something up your sleeve. So for those who are interested in your services or want to learn more about you, how can they keep up with you, with whether it's social or website, email, or
Yeah.
anything you want to share?
Very easily. Social media, Ari Squire speaks all across the board. I'm different on different channels. I'm a lot more vocal and show up differently on Facebook than I do on Instagram and LinkedIn, of course, because they're different platforms and they have different purposes. But Ari Squire speaks, or my website, arisquires.com. Best way.
Yes, and then you can see all of the amazing things that she does on a regular basis and the gems that she drops, because simply amazing. So I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. Are there any final thoughts that you want to share with our audience and those who are watching the replay?
Yeah, I just want to tell people to keep showing up and keep making mistakes. Keep making mistakes because that's the best way to learn. But
Mm-hmm.
get the support that you need. Don't be afraid to ask for support. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. I think the people who are the most successful are the biggest risk takers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Urge people to continue to show up, continue to fail, continue to make mistakes, and invest in yourself, because that's where you'll see the best results. So, and I'm excited about this summit, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
Thank you. Me too. I'm excited. I looked at the countdown clock, and it's 2 weeks, 6 days away. I'm like, oh my goodness. But the good thing about it is I basically repurposed everything from last year, and so I look today. I thought I was stressed. I can relax now because we're ahead or on time with the schedule. So I'm like, oh, okay, I stressed for nothing here. But I'm really excited to just see everyone speak, especially your topic, because it really is the foundations and so much more of building a successful brand. So thank you for giving us a sneak peek to your topic and for speaking at the summit.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And you guys, make sure y'all stay connected. My people on here, you guys connect with Miss Avery, okay? But trust me, this girl knows her stuff. And I'm not just saying that because you're my client, but this really, because you guys know I don't just work with anybody. I turn people away too. And so when I saw and I saw the gift and the passion in you, and just to see all of this come together, I'm just so proud. So it's my honor to come and speak to the women.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. And one more, I know we're giving each other praise, but one more, every time that you comment on a post and say, good job and things like that, it really does me proud because of course I'm a recipient of your teachings, but also like I said, like I know you don't just accept anyone, you don't approach just anyone. So that's what really just that's why I would say I was so honored, and like I just love you so much. So I won't belabor everyone with me just giving you kudos and praise, but I really want you to know just how much I appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ditto, ditto.
Well, thank you everyone for joining me and Ari Squires for the final day of Speaker Week. And I look to see everyone this December for the Mogul Code Summit.
Bye, you guys.